Welcome, my good people, to the 8th episode of the Trippin-N-The podcast. I'm your host, Dice, with my co-host, Mike. Of course, what else will we talk about? More Donovan Mitchell, of course. Trying to see where does Donovan rank amongst the NBA stars in the league today. Talk about some different trades and what we're willing to give up. And, is it worth the package having to give up based on where he's ranked at amongst our list. So I'm sure Mike got a couple more things in store for me. So let's get this going. What you got for me this time around?
All right, like you mentioned, my question is this. We've been hearing all the rumors. Danny Age basically saying that he went 7 or 8 first-round picks is the latest that I
Yeah, that's crazy.
He won 7 or 8 first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell, and some young players. Of course, we know that the latest offer we heard the Knicks offered was for a protected and one unprotected pick. So that got me to thinking, where do you rank Donovan Mitchell amongst the NBA best all-stars? What ranking would you put him in? What order? So today, we're going to do a little exercise. We're going to go through the list of players that we think is actually better than Mitchell. And then we're going to talk about the trades afterwards that we would give up once we actually bring this into real life situations. So I'm going to start with you. I want you to give me the list of players that are better. But here's what I'm going to say. This is assuming everybody's healthy.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the only way you could do it.
Right. We're assuming everybody's healthy. Everybody's playing their best ball. Yep. They missed last year, but the year prior they were healthy. They still count. So I want you to give me the list, and I don't have to be in no order who's best to worst. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is better than Donovan Mitchell, if healthy, coming into the 2022-2023 season?
So is it to kind of hit this on a right note?
Yeah,
I'm thinking about obviously health. Everybody, like you said, 100% healthy. Yeah. But what these guys do and what they do for their teams, you know what I mean? I'm taking two-way into effect. I'm taking playmaking. Just being a leader, just different aspects of things. So, and I'm taking this might not be, much of a thing because Donovan's only 25, but I'm taking upside on what I think that guy could be. You know what I mean? So no specific order. I got Greek, KD, Luka, Bron, Kawhi, Jokic, Embiid, Kyrie, Dame, Cat, PG, Jimmy, AD, Ja, Booker, Jaylen Brown. I know that might be a little controversial, but remember what I said. I'm thinking two-way. I'm thinking upside. You know what I mean? James Harden. Because when James Harden's right, that's not a question. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're getting. Trae Young. And then remember what I said. So before when I get to Trae Young, I'm at 18. I'm at 18 players. You know what I mean? So, and you got to think how many of these guys you're getting. You're not getting none of these guys. So you got to take that into effect when take that into an aspect when you're thinking about trades and what you were willing to give up and if you would even do it. But so, like I said, at 18, that's Trae. I'm thinking, me personally, I'm thinking Ant-Man, that's 19. I'm thinking B.I., that's 20. You know what I mean? And then I could say maybe Donovan, that's 21. You know what I mean? I can't think of a guy right now that I'm missing, but
what about Zion?
Oh, yeah. I mean, all health and just upside, yeah. So that's 22 players right there. So I'm trying to think of another guy.
Bradley Beal.
I don't think Bradley Beal's better than him. I mean, Bradley Beal bucket though. I ain't gonna lie. But Buddy 29. You know what I mean? Donovan 25. And they basically do the same thing. So I'm gonna give the edge to Donovan. But I mean, at that aspect, at worst, at best, 23rd best player in the league. You know? What say you? I got 23. I know you got obviously a similar list because these guys are who they are.
Yeah.
But where you got Donovan? Let's hear your list.
So I got Luka, I got Towns, Embiid, Jokic, Tatum, Durant, Brown, Butler, Irvin, Greek, LeBron James, AD, Curry, John Morant, Trae Young, Zion, Dame, Bill, Booker, PG, Kawhi. That's 22. I ain't even throwing the Ant-Mans and the BIs.
Time out. No, I don't even mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I don't even have Curry on here. So I'm tripping. Excuse me. So, okay, obviously Curry. I heard you say Curry. I was like, whoa, I'm looking at my list. Like, I don't see Curry on my list, but
yeah.
Okay, I'm crazy. So the 20, I'm missing probably somebody else. So let's just say Donovan is the 25th best player.
Argue.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Argue
but
that.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Let's keep going. What you got?
So yeah, I got 22. We got BI. I think he's better than BI. I think he's better than Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man can be better, but right now, and I'm just going into next season, I think he's better. Okay. So I got him right around the 23 to 25 range. I'm sure it's a person or two in there that somebody is going to say, where the hell is he? Okay, you know what I mean? So 23 to 25.
Right.
So we both got him in the 23 range. Best case 20.
Yeah. Best case, and that's if you're taking some guys out. That's up for debate.
All right. So if he's at 20 to 20. If he's a 20 to 25 best player in the NBA, where do you go with him?
I mean, okay, let's say at best 20, right? But we're saying 23 to 25 range. So I know if I trade 6 firsts, 2 young players, et cetera, I still got to go get another guy. You feel me?
Right.
I still got to go get another guy. And to win a championship, we've seen in history, you got to have at least a top 10 player. You know what I mean? Like, and you really need a top 5 to be a hundred. You know what I mean? You got your anomalies, your Dirk Nowitzki's and stuff like that, those type of championships, but those are far and few between. So you really need a top 5, top 7 at max guy. And if I'm giving up 6 first-round picks and 2 of my young players, how much do I really have left? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if Jalen Brunson's your son, you're not trading your son. So that's the piece you got, right?
Right.
Guys are iffy on RJ Barrett. So it's like, okay, you know? And if he takes another step, that's the 3rd pick. I'm not trading him. So it's like, where are you at with this? You did threw the bag at Donovan Mitchell now. Now you know you need, and he's the 23rd to 25th best player. Now you need a top 5 to top 7 guy, and those are not hitting the market free.
Right.
So I think that's kind of where the front office is at, because it's like, I know I got to go get another guy. Am I banking on quickly to be something here? Am I banking on Grimes? Am I banking on Obi? Like, let's say at best Obi give me 18 and 8. Well, damn, I still need more to beat them big dogs. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then the Warriors got the big 3, and if they don't make no moves, they got another big 3 coming. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Because at the end of the day, I can't give you that bag, and I still got to go get another guy. That's me personally.
Let me ask you this: Do you think that Donovan can take another step and get to that top 15 range, and you can overtake players like, I had on my list Bill, Booker, Brown, Tatum, those guys. Do you think he can take a step where he can surpass those guys and get in your top 15? And some of them guys, early in the list are getting old. So you got James, Durant, they're getting a little up there in age. They might take a little step back. Or you mentioned Harden. He might take a little step back, because he's getting a little older. Think he can creep up into that top 10 range? Close to that top 10 range as a year or two go by and those guys get older and some of them young players he might surpass? Do you think that's possible?
Given the numbers and just how things work, no. And here's why. Okay, so we're taking a few players out, right?
Right.
Harden, your KDs, your Brons, fuck it, your Currys. You know what I mean? Let's just say, right? That's 4 or 5 players. Now, mind you, he was 23rd to 25th. Now that slots him at 18. Mind you, you didn't put some other guys that in the future might be, in these conversations. Let's think about your LaMelos, your Darius Garlands, your Evan Mobleys, your Scotty Barneses. You see how shit get nasty in the next 2 to 3 years because those guys are going to be great.
Some of these rookies.
Some of these really rookies, your Bancheros, your Chets. You know what I mean? Your Keegan Murrays, your Ivies, your Jalen Greens. You see how it's like, I don't think he can. I don't think he can. And if you're thinking about, what guys do, like I said, at the start of the pod, or what they do for their teams, the two-way aspect, the just one of one, this motherfucker's a freak aspect. The Chets, the Banchero, 6'10", 250, ready to play today. You know what I mean? It's like, as a 6'1" guard, that's a one-way player. Mind you, he's a 3-level scorer, but that's all offense. He don't play no D. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't think he can slide to that top 15, top 10 range. I don't think that's possible. Now, that's not taking anything away as he's going to be a great player.
Right.
He's going to continue to put up crazy stats. But somebody pointed out, while he's been a 3-time All-Star and an All-Star the last 3 years, he's never made no All-NBAs, and he not, because this a guard game. This a guard game.
Right.
So it's like I can't get a bag. I can't get that bag for the 25th best player in the NBA.
So that being said, do you agree with the Knicks' stance?
Yeah, because I think now because remember we be having these conversations all day, so. We had a conversation offline where it was like, okay, the Knicks need to make this trade and this, that, and the third. But as we sitting down, breaking down the list and thinking about the guys that just came in and thinking about the guys that are still budding stars that we haven't even put in this, in the LaMelos, we can see with Weissman, the Pools, the Kumingas, all these guys that got potential. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, damn, I still need the next guy. I think the Knicks put the value. Now, what I don't get is the young players and including 1 or 2 young players, but the picks wise, I think they put his value where the picks wise. I'm giving you 4 protecteds and an unprotected in the swap. I for the 25th best guy. So,
all right. So here's my take on that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. He's probably 20th, 25th best player. Just being realistic, looking at this list. My take is this. The rest of our players is 50. 25 spots down from that guy.
Yeah.
Let's be real. So in our position as the New York Knicks, okay, we'll be damn lucky to have the 25th best player in the league. Okay, because right now we got our best player is 50th. whoever you want to say, RJ, you want to say RJ, you want to say Randall, you want to say Bronson. There's 49 better players than those guys, right? So our best players, 25 slots lower than that guy at 25 years old. So we ain't in no position to be picky and say, I want a top 10 guy. I need a top 7 guy. I need a top 12 guy. Our top guy is 50, maybe, and I'm being nice, being generous. So we need a top 25 guy bad if we ever want to get a top 10 guy. And we got to figure out how to make that second part happen. I get it. You're giving up a lot for the 25 guy. You got to find a way to get a top 10 guy to realistically win. And I understand that perfectly. But you ain't winning with 50. So our players rank 50, 75, and 83. You ain't winning with that. I can 100%. That won't win shit. So we need to find a way to bring in 25 ranked player. And if we got to overpay for that 25 ranked player because of position that we are in right now, that's what you got to do. That's my.
But what are you doing after that?
I worry about that then. Listen, I got 5 players, 25 and younger on my roster, and I got, if I'm Randall still here, is 27. I got time, right? I still got time on my side, right? Well, I'm not training for a 30-year-old. I'm training for a 25-year-old. I got 5 to 7 years to figure this out. It's just not an overnight. You get Donovan, you winning the chip. That's not. Nobody's stupid. We get it. That's not it, right? We need to do something else. But that buys you time. That make you relevant. You win some games. Maybe a star becomes available. Maybe it's a situation where Randall builds his value, or a couple of the young players you keep build their value. You can sign them and trade them to get the other star. Different things can happen in the next 5 to 7 years, and that's how much time you have with this unit. So I don't know the next guy that's available. I don't know the package for the next guy that's available. But I do know if you don't get Donovan Mitchell and your best player is Bronson, you ain't getting the top 10 guy. He ain't coming here. You know what I'm saying? You think he's going to just say, let me play with the 80th best player in the game and change things around. That ain't happening. So you got to make the first step before you make the second. You know what I mean? And
okay, but let me and I agree, especially the position where we at. We don't need a team in the NBA, probably like we said last pod, outside of Indiana, that don't have a star, or at least a star to look forward to. Yeah. You know what I mean? We like RJ, but he ain't on these guys' level. You know what I'm talking about with these guys. You know what I mean? So, but is that worth this crazy ass package? Like, I don't believe that trading 7, 8, whatever it is, not that we're going to trade 7 to 8 first, but I'm just saying, like, if it's 4 protectors, that's worth the 25th pick. I mean, not 25th, 25th best player, 23rd best player in the NBA, when you still got to go get another guy. Because I at that point, I'm playing for the chip. I'm trading big packages for stars to come here. I need something else now. I'm not here to watch Donovan and Obi throw oops to each other. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I want to.
Let me ask you this. So you believe in the young players? Because, all right, so it's a big debate on Nick's, Twitter and just Nick conversations, right? We don't want to give up Grimes. We don't want to give up Obi. Don't want to give up IQ, right? So if you believe in these guys, when you don't want to give them up, then you got to believe one of these guys is going to become a star too. If not, then why don't you want to give them up? You can't have it both ways. If you give up 6 picks and you keep your young players, hypothetically, you got to hope that one of these guys will actually become a star. And you got Donovan Mitchell, another star. RJ, you want to project to be one. You got 3 stars on your team, and then you don't have to go trade for a top 10 guy. Do you think that that's – do you think these young players can become a star? And if not, then why –
where does one have a chance to, though?
All right,
if you Emmanuel quickly –
Let's say Obi. Let's say Obi. Let's say we trade Randall after we get Mitchell. Obi slotted into that power forward position. Do you think he has a chance to become a star?
not a star, but 17-9.
Okay, so you think he'll be a good player? RJ,
He'll be an impact player, definitely. I think he's gonna be
star?
Again. I mean, by the time RJ's 25, let's just say 24, 25, and so that's 2-3 years down the road. Like, can I see RJ putting up 24 a night? Yeah.
So
you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think he could take that next step. You know what I mean? Like,
so if you got a Mitchell, a star in RJ in 2 years, let's just say hypothetically, Mitchell 27, Bronson's 27, RJ's 24. RJ becomes a star. Mitchell's already a star. Bronson is a really good player. Obi's a really, really good player if you're saying 18-9 type of guy, right? You got that as your starting lineup. You don't think that can compete? You really think that you got to go get another superstar? If you got another star in RJ, you got a really good player in Bronson and a really good player in Obi, and you kept IQ, let's just say he's a 6 man of the year candidate, and I don't know, you got some vets to fill in that's playing well. You don't think that team can compete if all of those things break right? Where you have to go get another guy?
Still got to go get another guy. And here's why. Because, okay, I got RJ, let's just say 22 a night, right? 23 a night, right?
Well, you average 20 now. So in 2 years.
Let's just 23, 24? Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's say 23, 24, right? I still got Donovan, you know, that's 2-3 years from now. I could say maybe he's averaging 20, 22, 23 a night, you know, probably the same as RJ, 23, 20, 24 a night, let's say. Mm-hmm. But you got to think about the type of players these guys are. Like, bro, to win the chip, look who winning the chip right now. The best shooter of all time. Greek Freak probably gonna go down top 10, top 12 of all time.
But I'm saying,
you feel me? Like,
in 2 years, I'm not worrying about Curry and Clay that much.
Okay.
In 2 to 3.
But you're worried about somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have all-time talent. And that's what I want to win a chip. I don't want to be fucking fun. I want to win a chip. And if I'm going to trade a package like this to go get Donovan to go try to get somebody else, or hope that RJ's developing, or hope that Obi could do this, like, no. Who the fuck wins the championships? The all-timers.
All right, so who did the Warriors play this year?
In the finals, you saying? Yeah. They played Boston.
Okay, so who's their stars?
Tatum and Brown.
Okay. So why can't RJ and Donovan be their stars and still get there? I mean, I'm just using this year as an example. They only had 2 stars. They had a damn good team, right? They had great role players. Hartford stepped up. You had Smart step up. You had, bench players stepped up. Everybody stepped up and played their role. But they only had 2 stars, right? And Donovan, and if RJ take that next step, if they were on that close to that level of stardom, if they can get there, and you got a Bronson, and you got a Obi, and you got an IQ, and you got an Isaiah, and you got a Mitch, and you got those players, what we expect them to be coming off the bench or whatever the case may be. You can compare that to Boston last year. And Boston last year had that opportunity to actually win a championship. They missed shots. They had turnovers. They inexperienced. But they had an opportunity to win that series against all-time greats.
Yeah.
You can still get to a championship level or even win a championship if you got a good team and not necessarily just 2 great superstars. Detroit has done it with great team, but they didn't have no all-time great player when they had that Rasheed Wallace and Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton team. They had a great
but that was a whole different NBA though.
I get it. But Boston had 2 stars, but that's it. They didn't have.
But see, the thing about Boston to me is like
all-time greats right now. Anyway, they might, Tatum might become that, but he's not an all-time great, and neither is Brown.
Right.
But they had enough to
And
get there.
I'm looking at my list. I forgot to put Tatum. I messed up a little bit. But anyway, but they got two guys that you're saying is better than the guy that's supposed to be the best guy on our team. So it's like, you know what I mean? They got two guys better than the one guy on our team.
I'll put you like this. If RJ becomes a star, which I think is a possible, right? I think it's a strong possibility that he can be 24 points scorer type of star. Mitchell's already a star if they get him. Bronson is better than any third player that Boston last year had, in my opinion. If that's their third player, Bronson is better than a third player, right? I think Obi's as good as Williams or better. You know, just comparing that team, I think Mitch is close to the other Williams. You know, IQ could better than Pritchard. You know what I mean? So I think the talent-wise for the rest of the team could be better than Boston if those two stars become stars. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a possibility if you do get Mitchell, if things break right, then you could be better than what we're predicting them to be.
Right.
I really think that's why, especially if you keep Obi, if you keep Mitch, if you keep Isaiah, if you keep IQ, you keep one of those guys, Cam or Grimes, if you can try to find a way to keep those guys and you're just giving up picks. You got that bench coming off with this young group and they're coming together. You got a hell of a team and a nucleus that I think can compete as long as RJ takes a step forward. That's the big if. I get it. But
it's kind of like it's a few ifs because honestly, Donovan got to get better. Yeah. And I know he's a great player now, but he has to get better. Yeah. Obi has to be that 18-9. We believe just the way Brunson built, he's going to be who he is. Right. But then RJ has to take the step that we're talking about where he is giving 24 a night. Agreed. So it's like it is a lot of ifs in this thing too, because while RJ's young, he's only 22 years old, coming off his third year. He had to drop 46 and 30 and that just to get to the 20-point mark. Like it's a lot of ifs in that aspect too. Like and trust me, I completely agree with you. I understand what you're saying. It's just like the Knicks, as a Knicks fan, I'm thinking kind of with a little bit of a trauma too, just the luck that we got. Like we win fucking 17 games. We're slotted for Zion. The shit is creamy for Zion. We get RJ Barrett. And I'm wearing my RJ Barrett jersey, so it ain't no disrespect. But it's like, you win 17 games, motherfucker, I'm trying to get Zion.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like, so it's like, I'm just thinking about the luck and the history of us, and I'm just like, I'm thinking and I'm banking on a lot of if that. Like,
let me say this. If you don't get Donovan Mitchell, what's the plan?
That's why I don't get paid the big bucks to do that. That's why this is out of my level.
You're saying a lot of ifs. What's the ifs looking like if you don't get Donovan Mitchell? Where do you go from there? How do you get to a championship team if you don't get Donovan? Because if you think it's ifs with Donovan Mitchell, without him, it's a lot of ifs. If Cam can play, if Grimes step up and be the 2 guard, if Obi get playing time, if Bronson is what he need to be, if RJ can become a star, if you know what I'm saying, it's ifs everywhere. It's like 10 ifs. If Tibbs play the young players, it's ifs all over the place.
I don't know where you go. That's the thing. I don't know. You know why I don't know where to go from here? It's because we always talk about they fucked up last year. You know what I mean? Like they fucked up last year. Then had to spend this year to unwind the shit that they did last year to try to be kind of in the same position. Because signing Brunson, I won 37, I'm winning 40, 42 with this team constructed right now. So it's like the opportunity you had was to go get Ivy. That was the move. If we keeping it 1,000, where we are, and all the 10 and 12 and 15 fucking ifs that we got, ifs, The move was to go trade Randall, get Ivy. I got my OB starting at my power forward. Even if you brought in Brunson, I got Brunson at my point. I got Ivy who could help him. I got Fournier. I got now you going with the youth, and this is what you're supposed to be doing because you're not good enough. So it's like now you're in a position where I signed Brunson, Murray's gone, Ivy's gone. I can't wait to the 2023 draft because I'm not gonna lose enough games. I can't wait. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, now you didn't like they keep just digging themselves a little further in that hole based on shit that they keep having to undo. Like,
you're right.
So it's like, I don't know where you go from here because look, you're not supposed to be in this position.
What are they
you know
going
what I mean?
What to end this particular pod, you know, we did our rankings.
Yeah.
Did our thoughts.
Yeah.
So last topic here that I'm gonna touch on is this. If they don't get Mitchell, what do you think they do next? Because it's a standstill right now, pretty much with the Mitchell situation. So we don't know. Right. It's a possibility they do. It's a possibility the Jazz keep him. You know, we never know what's going to happen with that. So if they don't get Mitchell, what are they going to do?
All right, I'm going to answer that real quick. I'm going to answer that, but I just want to say this real quick. They act like they have the leverage. Like, okay, fuck it. Utah needs to trade him. You can't kind of bring that locker room in. You got a first-year head coach, little shit spicy. But Utah could say, fuck it, All-Star games in Salt Lake City. We know he's going to make the All-Star game. It's in Salt Lake City. We'll wait till next summer. And then teams look different next summer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but then it's like, he is the 23rd, the 25th, the 26th, or whatever best player. So it's like, what the fuck can you do? Like, you kind of like stuck, and they move on an aspect that they have this leverage that they don't have. Yeah, you have the ingredients to get the shit done because you got more, but them picks that you traded out of the 11th pick this year that you got, nobody want them. So it's like you traded that shit for dirt. Like, you feel me? Like, all in all, theoretically, you traded that shit for dirt. Yeah. So it's like, because those are the picks that you're trying to put in this Donovan Mitchell trade that Danny Ainge is like, fuck you, bro.
Right.
I'm giving you a guy that averaged 31 a game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like, but to answer your question, like, the only thing you can do is trade Randall and just flip it and be like, look, we tried. Say the same old bullshit excuse that they give. The price was too high. Like, you know what I mean? It just,
the price is too high.
The price is too high. That's their favorite fucking quote.
Price
but
too
it's
high.
Like, the only thing you could do is, you know, move off Randall, hopefully move off Evan, you know, and go straight young. And hope that and hope Brunson is okay with this shit. Like,
do you think they're going to do that? What do you think they going to do?
I think they're gonna run this team back. I think they make a minor trade, maybe an Evan. Somebody bites on the Evan later, maybe a Rose, but I think they run it back. I think the Knicks want to win every fucking trade. That's why they're not gonna trade Randall and ship his ass to LA for Russell Westbrook and pay Russell Westbrook $47 million and not dribble the fucking ball. They're not doing that, bro.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, so Randall's playing here.
Yeah.
So because he's gonna have to rehab the value. They're not gonna just get rid of him. And it's like, it's stupid because you're having to give in this Donovan Mitchell trade, you're having to give all three of your young players because nobody know who these guys are. So it's like,
yep.
Bro, trade these motherfuckers that are in front of the guys that you're trying to present. You're trying to showcase. Like, bro, they haven't done anything just stupid, but they've done some bad decisions, bad signings, bad trades. Just letting the Mitch Robinson thing play out, and the deadline, and not trading them, and now you just drop 60 on them, and it's just like, and I know it's a descending contract, and it's just, but nobody was paying Mitchell Robinson $60 million. That was not happening, bro. Or he would have just did it. Because why did he come back here? All year he complained about not getting the ball. We just got a guy that is gonna have that ball. And we're trying to trade for another motherfucker who's going to have that ball even more than him. so it's just like he came back because Mitchell Robinson was like, shit, I'm getting 60. That's why he came back, bro. Like,
I agree.
It's like, I don't know what you do because you put yourself in a situation that you just shouldn't have did. Like, why are you signing Evan Fournier is a win now move. You didn't have the talent to win now. OKC gave up on Kemba. Boston gave up on Kemba after giving him what, $155 million just to trade him 2 years later. Like, bro, so you all in all, you knew that wasn't gonna work, but you did it anyway. Randall had an all-time wet the bed, shit the bed series with the Atlanta Hawks. He was putting up astronomical numbers that nobody had ever seen. Why? Because nobody was there to see it. It was no fucking fans. I'm just thinking about all of the moves that are leading up to what's today, July 20th or so. Yep. This is all leading up. All of these things lead up to why we're here right now, having to give up 6 picks and 3 young players for the 26th best player in the NBA to hope that you can get RJ to be a star, for Obi to be a star, for Brunson to be like bro.
It's a little something controversial, real quick. And
yeah, man, this is crazy. Like,
I go back and forth with Twitter folks who support this management staff. And they say things like, Leon's great. He's doing the right thing. And, I say he's been average, right? And I'm going to give you a point that a lot of people don't bring up, okay? Leon took over this job, and we brought up the other pod. If you look at the roster, he took over to the roster now, right? He deserves
God awful.
Right. But let me just make this point real quick, just so it's clear. So everybody's clear on this. He had RJ on a rookie skill. He had Randall. And he had $80 million of free agency for the very next year. He also had both Dallas picks to work with. So any GM president walking into a situation where I got $80 million to spend, I got a young rookie who got upside, I got a vet who's only 25 that got upside, $80 million, and I got 2 future first-round picks to work with because he didn't take Grimes at this point. That's what he walked into, okay? He turned that into 3 more first-round picks.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I'm keeping it 100. He turned into 3 more first-round picks that he traded the 11th pick for. He drafted Grimes. He drafted Obi and IQ. Solid pickups. Solid. Right?
He drafted Sims.
Solid pickup. And 3 more first-round picks. That's all he did.
He walked into Mitch, RJ, and Randall.
He walked into those 3. Okay, so Obi, IQ, Grimes, Deuce, Sims is his. Right? The 3 extra first-round picks that nobody wants is his as well. Okay? Theoretically, that's what he's done. Right?
Right.
Now, he got Bronson by giving up. First of all, Bronson's his son. Bronson said himself. Now, I'm not making this up. Bronson said himself, I came because his family. Okay? That's his son. He was the first one to pick up the boy before his own dad. So if you want to give him credit for that, okay, you can. But
I don't. I'm not giving credit for it.
He signed a family member.
That's like signing my kid. Like, my kid better fucking come here.
Son. Okay.
Like he better come here. What the hell?
Great job. And you signed Isaiah, who's another one of your actual son's clients. So you signed two people that was your son's client, and one is actually like your damn son. So that's all you done. And you got rid of your mistakes that you made from last year. Because that was mistakes. So theoretically, you signed your son. you traded for 3 picks, no one once, and you drafted those 5 young players in 3 years.
And the only reason you was able to get off of Kemba Walker, Noel, and Alec Burks is because Scott Perry has got 30 years of experience with Troy Weaver.
Guys, and they did him a solid.
Nobody was doing that.
So in 3 years, you draft a backup center, a backup point guard, backup center in Sims, a backup point guard in Deuce, a backup point guard in IQ, a backup power forward, and right now a backup in Obi, okay, and a backup 2 guard who might be our starter in Grimes. That's what you've done. 3 picks to no one once, and you signed your son. If you think that that's an A and I'm supposed to do backflips for that shit, I'm sorry. I expect more. I've been a Knicks fan for too long. I've been losing for too long. I want somebody who's actually going to make a move that's going to put us closer to contention to win a championship. These moves that he has done, theoretically, has done nothing to move the needle that much.
Right, I agree.
He got 3 years to get all backup young players right now. Whatever you want to say, they're backup young players. You can,
and it's like that where we picked them was like you would think we was a good team, like 23rd and 25th and shit like that.
Those guys are nice upside. I like them. I'm not shitting on none of them. I like all of them. I'm not even knocking their drafting. I think they're good drafters. But those right now, the way it sits, they're backups. So in 3 years, you got 5 backups, 3 protected picks no one wants, and you signed your son. If y'all want to do backflips and shit for that, Knicks fans, be my guest. Me, on the other hand, I would like for you to make an aggressive move or something that's going to move the fucking needle. So we got to give up a little bit more to get Mitchell. That, I will give you more credit for that one move than all of the other fucking ones that you've done. Because the other ones that you've done ain't did shit for me. Grimes is really fucking Scott Perry and Steve Mills. Okay, that was their pick from Dallas. Sorry, that don't belong to you, bro. You ain't this shit. Okay, like that was their pick. You picked the player, but that wasn't an extra pick you got. This 2023 Dallas, that's Steve Mills. That is not you. Randall is not you. RJ is not you. The person you pay $60 million to bring back, Mitch, ain't you either, motherfucker. So, 3 of your starters, you ain't had shit to do with. So
that's true.
The bottom line is this management's been average. And if y'all want to praise that shit, be my guest. But I'm just stating facts. And I need to see more from these guys. I'm sorry. I need to see more, man.
It's like the fact that you're not willing to pay for anything. It's like, what are you willing to do? Because when you were brought here, you told me that you had relationships, that you could do things, that you were going to bring a star here. You're walking into year 3, and the only thing you've done is sign your son. Because guess what?
It's his biggest move.
Because guess what? Also, RJ, who was the 3rd pick, still ain't a fucking star. Now, I don't know if that's because he's just not good enough, or the coaching, or the players that you signed to be in front of him. Like, I don't know why that is, but he's still not a fucking star. So he's going into year 4. So I don't know what you do.
His biggest move he made was signing his son. I'm just putting that out there. The biggest move that Leon Rose has done was sign basically his fucking son. That's it. And he won't even talk about it. He won't let the press talk about it. he rolling that nigga out like, I signed my son. Now what? Look at me now. Like that. Come on. Like we gotta demand more. We gotta want more, man. Like, and you know, when I go back and forth on Twitter with y'all fans, y'all look at this pod, I want you to think to yourself, this is your king. This is who you cherish. You think
Right.
great. You don't want more from that guy or management? Really? Like, what is he really? If you really dissect everything, what has he really done?
Only thing he could, only thing that
Yeah.
has saved his ass is the way he's traded has brought back value and like, okay, these are good young players that we can look forward to, whether they're rotation guys or starters or whatever. They can play basketball based on where they were drafted. That's the only thing he's done.
Right. I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say it was bad.
Right.
He's not good. He's
No.
been average. These have been average basketball moves.
But the reason Knicks fans praise him is because we've been fucking scorned by every GM prior.
Right.
So it's like,
the average person in here, we praise him, but we're average team. You've done average moves. Hence, we're playing type of team. It's been average. Like, y'all, I'm not going to sit here and praise average. I'm sorry, because the last people have been bad. That's not how it works. You're either good or you bad. If you average, you're not good to me. I'm sorry.
Right.
You're in the bad category. You just better than the rest of the trash we had prior. He's been better than those guys, but you haven't been good. Like, you know who's good? A GM who picks a direction. Like, OKC, they decided to tank. You know what their team looking like right now? In another year or two, you'll see. You know what I'm saying? That's management. You know what I'm saying? We'll tank. We'll be bad. We'll collect these picks. But you know what? We're coming.
Yeah.
They direction.
They're going to be good in 2 years.
They pick a direction. Orlando, same thing. We're bad. But in a couple years, you're going to hear from me. Detroit, same thing. We're bad. But in a couple years, you're going to feel me. Indiana, let's stop being mediocre. Sick of this shit.
Right.
Sick of being 7th seed, 8th seed playing. They got rid of their vets. They went young. A couple years, you're going to hear from them. What are we doing? If you don't get Donovan Mitchell, are you going to hear from us? Or are we going to just be a middle of the road team?
We're going to be in the middle of the road. That's what we always are.
That's average. It's average.
That's what we are.
And I need more from Leon, bro. I need good. Average ain't cutting it for me. I'm not praising you. You get Donovan Mitchell, I'll give you credit. You know why? You actually did something aggressive. You put your name on the line for something.
Right.
You put a stamp on it. Say, hey,
I don't think they know what they're doing, to be honest.
I don't either.
And I think to the fact that, like, they don't know what they're doing to the point where it's like they're so afraid to make a choice. Because why else won't you make a choice on trading for a rookie, trading for a guy that averaged 21, 9, and 5, or trading for a guy that averaged 28 a game, 31 a game in the playoffs? And it's like you literally had the option to trade for a rookie, a star, and a guy that has the potential to be a superstar, and you won't do either. And it's like, so what the fuck are you going to do?
My question for all Knicks fans who, I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to make sure everybody see this shit. My question is this. If we're not going to go get a star, why the fuck did we trade the 11th pick for 3 protected picks?
My point.
What is the point of that shit?
My point.
I want to believe that it was a plan behind that to get a star. I want to, with all my heart.
But nobody wants those picks.
If you don't trade some of these, I don't even know if they want it, but if you don't include it in something, then you got to be fucking kidding me right now. You can't hold on to these fucking picks and say we did this for value when you're bad. Like, no. I want to know what the fuck is the plan. If you don't want to pay up for Mitchell, what is the plan? Don't tell me going young, Because you still got Randall, you still got Evan, you still got Rose that's going to get heavy minutes. Heavy minutes.
Yeah.
Bronson is going to, even though he's 25, he's going to take up some IQ minutes, the way it as is. So we're not really going young. They're going to play a small role, the young players. So you're not really going young as is. So don't give me that. Don't tell me you want to pick all 3 of these future protected picks in the 20s. That's not a plan. So you traded the 11th pick for 3 picks that you're not including with a star. What is your plan?
Right.
I have to. I really want that answer. I really want that answer.
But it's like in 3 years, they don't say nothing.
I know, but I'm just saying, I hope for our sake as Knicks fans that they know they have to make a trade for a star. I hope. Because if you made this trade just because of value of getting 20th picks 3 years in a row down the line, if that's your line of thinking, you're lost, bro. You're lost. And I hope that they actually not this fucking retarded. That's all I'm gonna say. That's where I'm gonna wrap it up today. I hope they're not that retarded. Any last thoughts for you?
Donovan Mitchell is the 26th best player in the NBA, and we're so bad. I guess we just have to do it. That's my synopsis of what the podcast is. He's a great player, but he's not changing shit. But we don't have shit, so welcome. So that'll wrap up the 8th episode of the Trippin-N-The podcast. As always, we always have fun here, give you real, authentic content. I'm your host, Dice, with my co-host, Mike, and we'll see you next time.
All right, man.
Oh, and one more thing. Let me get y'all to like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up for you guys. You know what I mean?
More subscribes from you guys, man. We're giving y'all raw content. We're getting a lot of views, but we need you guys to like and subscribe. So
like and subscribe, right? Show that new contact. Where Draymond say this the new media.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
So all right, my guy.
All right, my
Till
guy.
next time.